Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One. Thank you for your support. Yesterday I put a link to the book, and a lot of people are buying things off Amazon Prime. And anytime you go to one of my links and you buy anything, I get a small credit for that sale. So I appreciate that. That was very helpful yesterday. Let's get right into the news. Delay at the naval base is caused by a supply chain issue, and not having enough workers has put nearly 40% of the Navy's attack submarines out of commission, according to a July 6 report from a Congressional Research Service. The Navy prefers that they're only down 20% of their subs in maintenance at any given time, but now we're at 40%. 18 of the Navy's 49 nuclear-powered attack submarines are classified as in depot, awaiting maintenance or getting maintenance, which leaves the U.S. at a critical disadvantage to China's larger fleet. China has one of the largest navies in the world. I did not know that, with approximately 340 ships and submarines, including 125 major surface ships. So, definitely, the United States is falling behind militarily. In all aspects. Businesses are starting to cut workers, hundreds of thousands of people in part-time roles, and this could be an early sign that the economy is in serious trouble. There's a huge number of employees that are making their employees work only part-time, and a lot of these people want full-time employment at their place, but they cannot get it. So this is definitely going to cause problems. And this trend is getting worse. It got worse by 12% in 1 month period. This one economic expert says, looking at this indicator along with 2 straight months of decline in black employment gives me a bit of a pause. He's a senior fellow at Century Foundation and a former deputy director of the Labor Department. I don't mean to be chicken little here, but this does tend to be a leading indicator that things are starting to slow down. I have no credentials, but I can tell you from talking to people through this channel that yes, things are definitely slowing down. There is definitely another indicator that we're definitely going into recession because the U.S. economy shrank during the first half of 2022, which typically indicates a recession. It is a surprisingly strong job market, and continued spending has kept the economy afloat, even as the Federal Reserve aggressively raised interest rates to slow the economy and control inflation. More than a year into this Fed's campaign, which has caused borrowing costs to rise at the fastest rate on record, there are growing signs that the economy is softening. The housing market is in decline, manufacturing is in decline, and job openings are waning. It does not take a rocket scientist to understand, yes, the economy is definitely slowing down. This person said they work as a dishwasher as a fast food chain, and his hours were cut by 20% this week. They found out they've been whittled down again to 15 hours a week instead of the original 24 that they were hired on. I had to pick up this job to help cover for my first one, and now what am I supposed to do? This person is 37 years old. Honestly, it's kind of upsetting. I'm not sure I'll be able to cover next month's rent. Economists use a variety of tea leaves, including joblessness and bond yields, to determine the odds of recession. Some says an increase in part-time work could signal a coming downturn, even after unemployment ticks up. Joshua Mask, an economic professor at Temple University, says in every recession since 1980, a marked increase in involuntary part-time work has predicted a downfall in the coming months. He also said, instead of laying off 10% of your people, you can cut everyone's hours by 10%. It's a less visible way of saving money. This person works at a restaurant as a bartender. She's given about 30 hours a week these days, although she ended up working even fewer. Her pay has contracted downward from about $350 in tips on a typical Friday night down to $120. Also, their hours are being cut, and when they do come in, when things slow down, they get sent home. I've heard a lot of that from people through Boots on the Ground reports saying they go to work, they work 3-4 hours, they start running out of things to do, and then they get sent home early. In San Francisco, an emergency pet hospital where this person works recently laid off its part-time workers and cut all full-time employees down to 32 hours. Business has slowed a lot in recent months as inflation pinched customers trade down from the emergency hospital to less expensive general clinics. And this person said a receptionist started picking up weekend shifts at another veterinary clinic to make extra money. So yes, people are having to go from their job, trying to find another part-time job or a part-time job to make ends meet. France has announced that they might be supplying some long-range cruise missiles to Ukraine. Russia has definitely warned them that this would not be a good idea. These missiles are able to go 290 kilometers or more if they're modified. So as we throw more and more arms and ammunition and equipment at the problem, it's sort of like you having a baseball team and I buy all the best equipment, bats, gloves, bases, everything. I get you brand new uniforms and I throw them at your team. Your team is still probably going to be about the same they were. And that's what's happening in Ukraine. You can throw all kinds of stuff at people. If they're not trained, if they're not a coherent group of people that have been training for a while, it's not going to work. The problem is Ukraine has lost their key NCO base, their key officers. It takes a long time to develop an NCO corps that is very capable of fighting. And as we throw more equipment, more complicated equipment at them, it's harder and harder to learn. Also, we're throwing equipment from many countries. Everything is different, so they have to learn on all these systems. And it is very difficult. If you threw me back in the military and you gave me all kinds of sophisticated equipment, from javelins to toes, it'd take me a while to relearn everything, and that's their problem. This is a college, and they have mandated the COVID vaccine is mandated still. A lot of colleges have rescinded their mandates, but this is Santa Clara University in California, and they are keeping with it. I hope you've been following the UPS story. They estimate if they go into strike that UPS could lose about 30% of volume, and this could be diverted to other companies that are delivering. UPS handles about 18.6 million parcels in the U.S. per day. And if they go on strike, this is definitely going to hurt them. They say there are more than 80,000 package deliverers, and they deliver each about 230 packages per day. So this is definitely going to hurt both sides. I hope they come to an agreement. They do have union workers, and I believe they have workers that are not unionized. So only time will tell, but their contract runs out on July 31st. So we still have a couple weeks for them to work this out. The Illinois governor signed a SB 1817 into law, which mandates landlords must rent property to illegal immigrants. Democrats in this ultra-progressive, crime-ridden states are under fire for prioritizing the needs of migrants over the needs of their constituents. So basically, if they come to your house and they want to rent, you can't say, well, you're not legal. I don't know how they're going to do that with paperwork, but this is in Illinois. Nikki Haley has ripped into Donald Trump because Donald Trump said he would end the war very quickly in a day. So he was definitely attacked from this statement. She is saying that this is not going to be possible. Why is he saying these crazy things? He needs to be realistic. And her way of getting rid of or any of the war is to get Putin out, not to appease him. The only way you're going to get Putin out of office if we have World War III. World War III could definitely entail nuclear weapons, EMP weapons, definitely a lot of casualties. Also, our reserve oil, definitely took another hit for the straight 15 weeks in a row. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve was depleted more and more. As we've seen right now, oil prices are going up and up. They're hit like $76, I think. So we are currently draining it at a rate that is unbelievable. This is a time when we should be adding massively to this reserve in case we do go into a war or into a conflict. North Korea has launched its first intercontinental ballistic missiles in months, and this happened on Wednesday, I believe. This could have been last week. But the problem is they are increasing launching these intercontinental ballistic missiles. It's just creating a very tense situation. That is why South Korea will not release a large stockpile of weapons and ammo that is there. They have told the United States, no, they need this. They cannot give it to Ukraine. Orange juice. When you think of orange juice, you think Florida orange juice. But right now we're importing huge amounts from Brazil. And this is because Florida's had a terrible production this year. And they're saying that the imports from Brazil has jumped 55% in 12 months, ending in June. So you might think you're drinking Florida orange juice, but it's probably orange juice from Brazil. I am just glad that we have a open place to import this to make up for our losses. But hopefully we will get back to where we were producing a ton of orange juice for our orange juice. David over at North Carolina Renegade put out a poll that he took off of Twitter. I think the name of the guy that did it was David Curtin. They said, who would you prefer as president or prime minister? The choices were Biden, Putin, Sunak, he's the prime minister of UK, and then Trudeau from Canada. Biden got 4.7%. Putin got 77.5%. The prime minister of UK got 10.8%, and Trudeau from Canada got 7%. I'll be honest with you, this is not really shocking to me. The reason is Putin is standing up for his country. His only goal is not the New World Order. It's not international. It's not the UN. It is the Russian people. So I don't find it, unbelievable to see this. The last thing I want to leave, I've been doing some research into the ability to conscript someone, to draft someone. And I've just started the study, but it looks like when the original Constitution was written, signed, approved, our government didn't really have, we had the power to raise an army. But I think it came in 1917 for World War I, where they had the actual power to, put you in the military, force you in the military against your will. I'm just thinking, are you really a free man if the government has the power to put you in the military, to send you off to a foreign land? I mean, if you have the God-given rights of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, that really contradicts life being sent to a foreign country. So, are we really a free people if the government has a right to enslave you into the military? Another idea, or different if you just volunteer. As I volunteered, as my son volunteered, you can look back and say, wow, I don't regret doing that. I have learned so much where I haven't been teaching. So my point now is take my knowledge and share it with as many people as possible, because this is information that you can't just get from a book. You just can't get from a lot of civilian markets. So I'm studying this. Are we really free if they can draft you? I see this in Ukraine as they grab people off the streets, send them to the front, not properly trained, not properly equipped. It's very sad to see this. I hope you continue prepping. Thanks for watching.